Good afternoon and thank you. I'm privileged to be here. I feel humbled after coming from the Wynton Marsalis conversation, and humbled having sat and heard Mr. Clinton yesterday. So it's been an extraordinary ride for me this last time, and I wanted to publicly say thanks to Kitty Boone and the festival, and Jeff and Patty, who were sound and lights today, so thank you very much. So for the next few minutes, we are going to explore the concept of creativity. In many ways undefinable, because it's just a thing, but it's different in so many people. And so we're going to do that and try and define it as a group. I've then created a couple of exercises that will enable your creativity, and we're going to do a couple of those together. We're then going to discuss the habits and practices of great creators. And penultimately, we will go over some of the ground rules of group creativity, which is a very, very important thing. It's no fun to create all by yourself. So we're going to discuss some of that. And then lastly, as a way, I'm going to try and put everything together in a beautiful melange, and we're all going to write a song together. Before we begin? Okay, good. So let's define creativity. So, what is creativity? Anybody?
A unique expression.
A unique expression, that's an excellent idea. A unique expression. What else is the definition of creativity? I played golf with a guy the other day, and he gave me his definition, which was pretty interesting. He said, creativity is taking all your life experience and putting it into one idea. So I thought, well, that's a great idea. And then there's a guy from Homeland Security who I had a drink with here a couple days ago, and I mentioned my lecture, and I said, so what's creativity? He said, creativity is the ability to demonstrate intellectual curiosity without risk of the fear of being curious. See, these are the same people who are patting us down in the airport. So there's something to be said for being really nice to them. I said, and I asked another guy, I said, what is it? And he says, I don't know what it is, but it scares me. So, does anybody know heard of a woman named Allie Willis? Allie Willis? They should build a building about her. So Allie wrote The Color Purple. She wrote September for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and she wrote the theme song to Friends. And you would know her because she keeps this side of her head kind of shaved, and this kind of is really long. And she says that the path to self-respect is through creativity. And so this is part of my whole world and how I look at it, and how I work with the children I work with and so forth. So, anybody else have an idea on the definition of creativity? Did you have a thought? Did you want to define? Okay. Yes, sir.
One aspect is maybe combining things that hadn't previously been associated with each other.
So a combination that has never been combined before.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Did you?
That was pretty much what I was going to say, putting disparate ideas together in new ways.
Yes, excellent.
Being in the flow. I would say being in the flow.
Is creativity, absolutely. Anybody else? Okay, my definition is any thought you've never thought before. That's kind of a catch-all. So the creativity can take you, if you sit and you listen to a lecture of somebody, some genius like Wynton Marsalis, and he makes you think things that you haven't thought before, that is creativity. Any thought you haven't thought before. Because I think it should be an easy goal to accomplish. Right? You don't have to be Beethoven to be creative. You can be creative as an architect, as a chef, as a poet, as a mother who has to feed 10 kids who just came in from the soccer game, and you're like, oh, you got to think of things you haven't thought before. And that's my definition, because I feel like it's a much more welcoming and inviting definition, and it's not a challenge to yourself to create. It's just this new thought. So with that in mind, I want to play a game that I invented, which inspires creativity, okay? It's called the Excellent Question Game. Here are the rules of the game. The Excellent Question Game. You have to ask a question you don't know the answer to. Okay? And secondly, there are no answers. Okay? So play along with me. Let's play the Excellent Question Game about the sun. Ooh. The Excellent Question Game about the sun. Who can ask me a question they don't know the answer? The young lady.
How hot is the sun
How-
really?
It's an excellent question. How hot is that thing? Anybody else? You?
How big is this?
How big is it? Excellent. Keep going. Yes.
When it stops shining.
Fantastic. When is that thing going to burn out? Excellent. Keep going. Keep going. Otherwise, who can ask a question they don't know the, I'm looking for you to make you have a new thought.
When did it start?
When did the sun start shining? Excellent. Yes, sir.
How far is it from the earth?
I happen to know the answer, but I'm not going to spoil the game. But it's still a great question, young lady.
What was before the sun?
Oh, now there you go. What was before the sun? What an excellent question. What was before the sun? You could run a philosophy class on a question like that. Okay, anybody else? You, question? Any question that, yes?
Why does the sun look bigger when it sets?
What a great question. Why does it look bigger than it sets? That's fantastic. Keep going. Question about the sun. I'm going to another topic in a minute. I'm going to call on you too. So, yes, sir.
What are the sunspots are gonna go away this year? What does that mean?
He's a comedian, so we got to. He might try and trip me up at some point. So, keep an eye on him. Yes.
Is the sun getting hotter?
Is the sun getting hotter? It's a fantastic question. Okay, change your intellect. Let's play the Excellent Question Game about bees. Bees. Who can ask me a question they don't know the answer to about bees? Mrs. Lewis.
How do bees pollinate?
How do they pollinate? How do they, yes.
Are queen bees born or made?
Are queen bees born or made? It's an seriously, it's a great, do they all, okay, we'll all spit on you and you're the queen. You know, I mean, I don't know. Yes, sir.
How many types of bees are there?
How many types of bees are there? Great question. Yes.
Do bees have emotions?
Wow. Okay, and there you go. And a great question just pops up out of nowhere. Excellent. Yes.
How do bees know how to dance?
How do they know how to dance? Fantastic. Sir?
Is the queen bee gay?
I'm going to refer that to Human Resources. And could somebody check on his past? You know, but it is, it's a question, you know what, it is, it's an excellent, by this definition, by the definition that you don't know the answer, it makes it an excellent question. Right? What's there, yes, sir?
Are bees disappearing from the environment?
Are bees disappearing from the environment? Absolutely, perfect. Okay, this,
And if so, what will we do without them?
what will we do without the bees? It's a great, great question. Okay, that's an exercise in creativity. That if you go into a meeting and you say, hey, before we get started, can we just play the Excellent Question Game for a minute? And just kick some ideas around, and it can be any subject. So now let's discuss the habits and practices of great creators. Has everybody heard of a woman named Marilyn Bergman? Marilyn Bergman is an incredible songwriter, like a gift. And I'm in the music publishing business, so I always end up talking to songwriters about their catalogs. So I ended up at her house, you know, not a lovely little place, not some, and I'm talking about her, what she's doing and what her life is like. She says, well, I have to, you know, I'm president of ASCAP and I have to do all that, and I'm speaking at the United Nations and I'm going over to Europe, and I'm working on this new Barbra Streisand album. What the hell, how is it possible to do all that and write songs? And she says this beautiful little thing, and this is the gift of what I'm giving you, because it fits in wherever and however you create. She said, well, first of all, I only write the lyrics, right? Which reduces the superhighway of creativity down to a little footbridge. And she says, I have the melodist play me the song, but just once or twice, just once or twice. And then I put it in the oven. and go on about my day. And whenever it's ready, it pops out. This is 4 Oscars, 67 songs recorded by Barbra Streisand. I mean, incredible. And she uses an oven. She trusts her intellect. That if she gives it the assignment, that out it will come. I don't know how many of you went to that amazing dinner at the Resnicks. The first person I walk into is Alan Greenspan. What is he, 89 years old? Right? And on top of his game and everything else, and I mentioned creativity to him. I said, how do you approach creativity? He says, I have a little black box. And when I have a problem, I put everything I know into the little black box. And then I go there. He's using the same thing. He's using Marilyn, and Mark and I are standing there next to each other, and he's going, he's using Marilyn Bergman's oven. It's unbelievable. But it must be a good concept, because one of the greatest songwriters in the world is using it, and one of the greatest economists in the world is using it. So you, chef, architect, painter, gotta give your high school graduation speech, whatever it is, try Marilyn Bergman's oven. Okay. The ground rules of group creativity. What? They are. The ground rules of, yeah, I'm not going to need the guitar because we're not going to have time, but this I'll do. First, the overwhelming power of the word no. And I think if you're in a group creativity situation, if you're working to do anything, you're a community that wants to change something, you're a civic light opera that wants to pick a new work to do, you have to put in that we don't use the word no. Especially to a newly born idea, that word is so vicious and unkind and cruel and will just cut an idea off. This is especially true if you're working with children, right? Because they run in and they go, oh, hey, I had a great idea. I'm busy. Or, what do you want? Or any of that. It kills these ideas. So number one, you take out the word no. Remove it from the dialogue and put it out on the, say, hey, by the way, we're not going to use the word no, okay? Because we want to create together. Second, there are 3 responses to an idea in a group creativity situation, and only 3. Okay? Number 1, a compliment. Right? What a great idea, Denise. You really got a hold of that one, Alfred. I mean, the first thing, a compliment. Very, very important to the nourishment of the idea, because maybe it's not a great idea, but it's right underneath it is a great idea. Okay? Number 2 is an improvement. So you go, oh, I love your idea. Suppose we do this. Because if you go, no, let's do this, you've killed that person, they're not your ally, and so forth. Right? So, the 3 responses. A compliment, or an improvement, and what do you think the third one would be? Huh?
An alternate?
Let's do it.
Silence. Silence. If you don't love it, and you can't improve it, chill. Go get a Pepsi. Right? So this is group creativity. I'm assuming at some point somebody's going to say, hey, let's go do that. So that is a great response at a point in it, but during the middle of it where you want to get all the ideas in the middle of the table and see what everybody thinks, that's how you do it. So many years ago, I was president of a company called Chrysalis Music, and Sir George Martin was on our board of directors. And he had come to Los Angeles, and he was doing a fundraiser where he was talking about the making of Sgt. Pepper's. And it was the first time he was presenting and playing clips and how the songs were faster at one point and what they ultimately ended up with. So every chance I could, because I'm a Beatle kid, I am. I think they're some of the most creative people who ever set foot on the earth. I said, so, like every time we went out to lunch or dinner, I was like, so let's talk about the Beatles. Sir? Martin. And one of the things, and again, not knowing I was writing a book about creativity 20 years later, he started talking to me about this one thing that was unique to the way the Beatles wrote, and he had never seen anybody else do this. And it was the rule that they established between themselves earlier in their collaboration. I wasn't there. I'm going on what George Martin said. And here's what he said. He said they made an agreement that they wouldn't criticize each other. They would just make the next part better. Wouldn't criticize, just make the next part better. Okay, let's write a song together. Let's use all that we just did. Just play it. How many of you are songwriters? The cameraman is a songwriter. This is an idea festival, people. Oh, and the sound engineer is a songwriter. Okay, you two can participate. This is perfect. Will this be your first song? Young lady, will this be your first song? Okay, perfect. Well, I think we should write a song called Ideas, because we're at the Aspen Idea Festival, and then if it turns into something, we'll give it to the festival and it can be their theme song. Right? Only if the bridge is good. Part of creativity is having a big dream. Right? Why write a song that nobody's going to hear? Let's write a song that's going to become the theme of the Aspen Festival, and we'll get Nas to do a verse on it, and Witten to play trumpet. Okay? Off we go. So, we're going to write a... Did they give me an eraser? No, of course not. I'm Rodney Dangerfield. That's why I'm in the last spot. Thank you so much. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. So we're going to write a song called Ideas. And imagine this, does everybody know who Randy Newman is?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to kind of do this in sort of a Randy Newman because he's really easy to, he's really easy. What? He just won the Academy. He writes all the songs. No, it's okay. By the way, that's an excellent question because she doesn't know the answer. Every excellent question is thrilling to me. It's music to me. So Randy Newman wrote Short People, I Love L.A., and all the Pixar films he writes the song for. So he wrote, and it's all very, he doesn't break the bonds of his creativity, if you know what I mean. It's all, he writes in a certain style and so forth. Okay, so, ideas. Give me a first line, please. Yes, sir.
Everybody's got ideas.
I love, I dream, idea.
Everybody's got ideas. Right? Next line.
Ideas can change the world.
Ideas can change the world. Remember, we got to rhyme these.
Oh.
So,
Everyone
you in
has
the back start thinking of rhymes with world. Ideas can change the world. Please tell me you can read my
Does
writing.
it matter if you're a boy or a girl?
It's like world, only different.
Oh, no, that's fine, that's fine. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl.
Ideas will make your head twirl.
I love that. Hold on, doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. A boy or a girl.
I'm a pearl.
No, we gotta rhyme, don't worry. Don't feel hemmed in by that. Because sometimes if you try and stick to a rhyme or an iambic pentameter, you'll just screw yourself. So,
Go ahead and
Ideas will
give it
make
a
your
whirl.
head twirl.
okay, I'm getting rid of this line. Okay? Ideas can change the world, doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl.
Go ahead and give it a whirl, someone said.
Okay, but I want something that rhymes differently. Go ahead, but not a bad idea. Third line. Your line, I love ideas.
I love, I dream, idea.
Okay, I'm gonna make that the chorus. Right? Chorus, the big refrain. I love, I dream. I need two more verbs. I love, I dream, I
I have an idea.
live
Idea.
ideas. Ooh. I just got that tingle.
They incorporate the highs and the lows. Ideas.
Yes, hold on. Ideas can change the world. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl.
Ideas can come from anywhere.
That would be verse 2. Ideas come from anywhere. Let's call it everywhere. Ideas come from everywhere. Hold on. Anytime. Anytime. Any place. Anywhere. That's not a real rhyme though. Anytime, any place, any. Any. Where are you going? You can't contribute to my song and walk out. He's out of the song. He is thinking.
I will sing it with you in front of the entire conference.
I got 10 minutes to write it and practice, and then we're going to be singing. So when she kicks me out, we're kicking it out with music. If you have to get your plane, I understand. Yes.
And whether you're young or old, hot or cold, break the mold idea.
Young or old, young or cold.
Hot or cold.
Sorry, young or old, hot or cold. Okay, Dennis Morgan, who I told you about earlier,
Break the mold.
his rule was you say it without saying it. Because I love you has been said in 2 billion times. He wrote a song called I Wouldn't Have Missed It for the World.
Good and bad, I have had.
Good or bad.
Good and bad, okay.
Okay, no problem. Good and bad. Say it again.
I have had.
I have had. Okay, so ideas can change. Hot, cold, good and bad. It sounds a little Dr. Seuss, but I'm going to. It's all right. All right, here we go. I got it. Oh, here it is. So this is our verse. Ideas can change the world, doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Young or old, hot or cold, good and bad, I have had them all. Ideas come from everywhere, anytime, anywhere. Chorus. I love, I dream. Okay. Ideas can change the world. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Young or old, you can break the mold. Good and bad, I've had them all. Something like that. Ideas can come from everywhere. Anytime and always there. They'll set you so free. They'll let you be you. Okay, we're going to work on that next year. Chorus. I love, I dream, I live ideas. I love, I dream, I live ideas. I love, I dream, I live ideas in Aspen. Okay. That's anyway. All right, thank you. That's the show. Don't forget to tip your waiter.